And I want to first of all get your thoughts on what's driving activity today. We know the market fell back a little bit yesterday, but I'm hearing that it's moving ahead today. What are the key drivers?
Yeah, I would say the same thing that drove the market down yesterday are the same thing that is also trying to push it up. So activity on the banking sector, basically First Bank and Zenith Bank, what is moving the market up. Presently, the market is up about 25 basis points, I mean a quarter of a percentage point, and First Bank is up like almost over 2%, and the same thing for Zenith Bank. So, and if you look at what happened yesterday, the two of them drove down the market. Apart from that, you have, okay?
Well, I was just going to ask, what's the latest on market making? I know that every 2 weeks we tend to get a few more companies added to the program. What's the update? I imagine that we should receive another list this week.
From what I heard, there might not be a new addition today, this week. Currently, we have about 35 stock in the market making situation, and for now, I'm not sure. From what I'm hearing, there won't be any addition this week.
All right, and
maybe until an appraisal of what has happened on the other stock that has been added into the program.
Well, what I've heard is that the fact that security lending is not really in play yet is actually preventing this system to work the way it was designed. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I think a very interesting discussion would be around the mutual funds that are listed on the stock exchange. I know it's a memorandum listing, so they essentially just reflect the prices, so no actual trades going on. But your thoughts on investors' apathy for this asset class? We're not seeing a lot of activity around mutual funds in Nigeria.
Basically, I think why you don't see much activity on those things is that maybe number one, there are maybe not much enlightenment for the investors for them to decide on what to do on those mutual funds. Then number two, the ease of realization of investment, which is more clearly defined on the equities that are listed on the stock exchange. I'm not sure that one is, even if it's clearly defined with the mutual fund, there is no enlightenment for the investors to take a decision on what to do. On a daily basis, you could go on the pages of newspaper or listen to radio and see the prices of stocks. I'm not sure they are clearly aware they can get those things for mutual funds too.
Well, I imagine that a lot more public enlightenment needs to happen. I totally agree with you on that point. But let's move on to a few specific companies and interesting trading history we're seeing for the likes of Transcorp. Transcorp is a company that at some point people thought was really taking off, gained well over 100% for the year. And then, of course, we got the announcement about the company being a preferred bidder for one of the power companies in Nigeria. But since then, interestingly, we've seen the share price fall back.
Yes, if you see the trading pattern of Transcorp nowadays, nobody is sure what is going to happen to it. I think the stock will possibly be going up and down like this until people really know what is happening. I also think the company is into many things now. You see them expanding their hospitality business, you see them going into power sector, you see them going into oil and gas business. So I think generally people are not really sure how it's going to work out for the company in all the operation is embarking on. I think people might need to wait and see their full year result, and if there is going to be any corporate action. But what I can tell you is that people believe that with the company going into many operations like expanding their hospitality business, oil and gas, power sector, there might not be any payment to shareholders. So those might be one of the reasons that people are dumping the stock nowadays. Okay. But I believe, for a long-term investors, it's a good holdings.
Okay, what about Oando though? Oando, this is a company that at some point used to trade well over 70 naira. In fact, I think it touched 100 naira at some point, if I'm not mistaken. Now the stock is trading closer to.
It went as high as 100 plus.
So a total turnaround there, and of course on the back of some weaker results. But now it's just about, well, maybe 1 or 2 naira below it, above it, year low. Is this a buying opportunity in your view?
For Oando, I'm not too sure whether it's a buying opportunity because when I'm not sure whether it's a buying opportunity because if you look at this stock, each time it goes down, you think that's the lowest, and people will move in, but you find it going further down again. So what I discover is that the problem of Oando is not that the price is good or not good. For the result that has come out on the Oando, the result is good enough to support the price or to drive the price up. But basically what is happening to Oando is the perception of the company in general. Some people think that the company is over trading. Some people think that the company, the management is possibly not disclosing the true facts to the investors. I mean, those are the general talk you hear on ground about Oando. So it's not really about whether the company is doing well or not. It's about trust. I'm not sure there is trust between the investors and the company as of now. Until that one is properly addressed and the book is open and people really make up their mind, that's when you see Oando start doing well. For now, if you look at the price, it's very low, but I think if it goes up further up, there will be more sellers. That's my take.
Okay, let's move on to GlaxoSmithKline, another company that's been rallying recently, and what I'm hearing is it's on the news that the core investor is looking to raise its stake in the company. Can you talk a bit about the activity you're seeing on that counter?
Yes, GlaxoSmithKline is currently on serious bid. It's been like that since beginning of this week. And if you look, that stock has traded from low of 19 naira there about this year to the current price of about 43 or 44. What we hear is that the core investors are trying to increase their stake to as high as 75–80% of the company. So meaning that after this one, there won't be float on that company again. So everybody might as well, get out of the stock. But increasing their holdings to 80%, I think that might also be breaking the NSE listing requirement, saying that at least 25% float must be in the public hand. So I don't know what will happen. We might just be getting close to the listing of Glaxo on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
All right, we're seeing a lot of investor apathy as we round up the year. You're on the trading floor today. Which stocks are you keeping your eyes on in terms of opportunities that are opening up in terms of low valuations? Which stocks are interesting for you right now?
For me today, I'm looking at Diamond Bank. I've always been looking at it for some time now. I think it's well priced, it's well positioned to go up, and I expect a good corporate action on the stock after the year end. The same thing for First Bank. First Bank went up heavily yesterday, but it's rebounded this morning. And I also think it's still a very good buy. At least if you compare its performance in terms of earnings to other banks, to its peer like GTB and Zenith, it's still trading far below those two other stocks. I see no reason why it should be doing that. So you should expect it to, for the three of them to converge very close to each other going forward.